Yeah, so we'll record this conversation, and if you have any questions, please feel free to keep putting your questions out in the chat box. Our team members are there, so they should be able to answer most of your questions, and then we can keep some time towards the end for questions too. So, yeah, I think would like to get started. There are some pricing updates that have been announced by WhatsApp. And this webinar is essentially like going into explaining those updates and how we can move forward from here. So I'll just cover what has Meta announced, what is today's cost structure, what this announcement and the impact of this, what this means for your organizations, and what are some ways in which we can try to pivot. And we can, like, you should feel free to discuss this more with us as like as we dwell deeper and investigate more. And lastly, also what we are trying to do in the product itself, and where we are open to collaborating with yeah, anyone who is interested in those aspects. So this is essentially the overview. I'll quickly start with what Meta has actually announced. So on July 1st, so about like 2 weeks ago, we all got the same information. And what they announced is there's going to be new pricing. It announced three different things. It announced that, sorry, two different things. One is that they're introducing something called as Meta Business Agents. So, not very concerning to us right now. Most of us don't use this, and they're going to start charging for using of Meta Business Agents, and not something that concerns us very deeply right now. But the second thing, which is all service messages are going to be billable starting from 1st October. So we have July, August, September, and then from 1st October onwards, whatever service messages are also there getting sent from your chatbots, those will also become billable. And this is the major update, which is where we need to kind of like come in and understand how this impacts us and what we can do to move this forward. So we have 3 months, approximately 2.5 months timeline to understand this, and see if there's a way for you to pivot if the cost impacts are high for you all. So I would say, like, keep that in mind. There's a need to pivot if the cost impacts are high, and how to get those cost impacts is something that we will also establish during this time. So what Meta is like, what Meta is proposing, like, I mean, like, this is how they're moving forward. This is going to be their new approach. Earlier, there was template messages and service messages. All templates messages were charged. Any template message that you sent, it was charged based on template and service. Sorry, marketing and utility. All service messages were free, and there were no like business like, or there was no AI agent messages which were which AI knew about, like which Meta knew about. So now they are introducing three different categories. One is template messages, which always was there, service messages, which was always there, and then there's a third category of Meta business agent messages. So this is, think of this as how in Glyphic you create your own assistants, and the assistant is able to answer, but each of the assistants answer is essentially a service message. Moving forward, Meta is trying to introduce their own, so that people start using their own Meta's LLMs more. They're introducing this business agent platform, and essentially, like, any message that's coming from, so they're going to start charging separately for that too. This is something, so Meta Business Agent is something that we have not yet fully explored. From early looks of it, it is omni-channel. That means it is something that you can set up across Instagram, Facebook Manager, sorry, Facebook Messenger, Instagram messages. So all those things. So it's not only for WhatsApp. It's like a omni-channel thing, and that's why it's like a Meta business agent and not WhatsApp business agent. So I'm sure it's possible to use this in WhatsApp too, but we'll have to explore more and see if it's actually becoming useful, at least similar to how your assistants in Glyphic are working, and if there's any value in transitioning to this. But this is something that we'll discuss in like future webinars where once we have done with exploration. But essentially, that is the larger update from Meta. There are three kinds. There are going to be three kinds of messages and three price tags moving forward. And from October 1st, all these things will come into effect. I'll go ahead if there's. I can actually pause here for like few seconds if there's any questions about this. Else I'll go ahead. Maybe wait for like 5 seconds.
Tejas, this is Shoptik from Learning Links. I
Yeah.
just wanted to understand the service messages are in interactive messages and the same messages which you sent, right? And templates are HSM templates.
Correct, correct. So, yeah, essentially, service messages is anything which is not a utility template or a marketing template. So, like how you have those send message nodes in your conversation in your flows. So it could be interactive message. It could be those, yeah, like send message conversation. It could be like, yeah. So essentially, anything which is not template, marketing or utility, and when a user has started the conversation, when you send them a link or when they enter a keyword, when your bot starts to respond, any outgoing message which is not a template was is a service message. And now moving forward from 1st October, there and earlier it was all free, so we were getting charged only for marketing templates sending and sending utility templates. So now they are saying that they'll start charging for service messages too. Shoptik, did that clear
Yes,
your?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's understand the present cost structure. Its present cost structure is fairly simple. Like all of us get charged for the number of messages. So there is Meta takes money for every marketing template at $0.01, and for every utility template at like $0.0014. And then for each message exchanged, there was a fee that Gupshup deducted of $0.001 for each message exchanged, and that was capped at $75. So if you exchange more than 75,000 messages in the month, Gupshup would take up to $75, and any more messages exchanged, like they would not take anymore. But yeah, largely these were the three major cost sets: any marketing templates you sent, any utility templates you sent, and just the overall exchange of messages. And then all the service conversations were free. So this is how the present structure was. Just to kind of quickly understand the cost impact. Suppose you send 10,000 messages, or like, sorry, suppose there was an exchange of 10,000 messages. So this can be incoming and outgoing. So imagine if 2000 of this were incoming, that means user initiated this 2000 messages were sent by users. There were 5,000 outbound templates. That means you sent 5,000 templates. Let's say 3,000 of them were marketing, 2,000 of them were utility. And then there were other, just like once a conversation is ongoing, your bot also responds in some messages. So if 3,000 of them were supposed to be were just normal programmed messages that you had sent, or AI messages that were like questions were asked and the AI had responded and you had sent it as a normal message. So all of this, like 3,000 plus 5,000 plus 3,000. So essentially, this is all the 10,000 messages exchanged in that month. If you consider that volume, so marketing templates, you send 3,000 marketing templates at 0.86 rupees, or at zero, like at that dollar value, it would be approximately 200,000 rupees, or $25. Utility template cost for sending 2,000 utility templates would be about 230 dollars, or like 2.3 230 rupees, or almost $2.3. Now, for these 3,000 service messages, earlier they were free, but now they would get charged at the rate of utility templates, which is which comes up to about 300. So 3,000 service messages would approximately cost 345 rupees, or 3.4 or $3.5. So this is the additional charge for this sample, like this as an example. And then on top of that, for every message exchange, so 10,000 messages were exchanged in that month. So GupShup would charge $0.001, which is approximately $10, or like 955 rupees. So overall monthly cost to date would have been 3,765 rupees, which is excluding service messages. But if we had service messages too, basically 345 rupees would be increased for this type of volume. I can share more about, like, like a calculator of this. And also there's like, we have added a way for you to get this. I'll explain that before. But yeah, if anyone has questions, or like anyone wants to clarify how to do this calculation, we can have a conversation right now. Anju, you have raised your hand.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
We have assumed here that the service messages are almost equal to the number of marketing and utility templates. What we have found, I'm not sure about the other NGO use cases. I would like them to comment also. The templates are far lower in number, and the service messages are far, far higher. Maybe the ratio would be 1:10, or 1:, even 50 or 100, depending on, because all of the AI conversations, all of the AI chatting, they are asking a question, the chatbot is responding with something,
Correct.
and then another question, and so on, comes under the service messages, isn't it?
Correct.
So this ratio, I'm sure, I mean, it's not been our experience for 10 marketing templates, and for all of our utility templates get upgraded to marketing for some reason. So marketing templates, if we have 10, we would probably have like 1,000 at the very least service messages.
Yeah. No, Anju, you're sorry. Are you Anju who's asking? I'm
I'm
not.
done. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're right, you're right. This is an example case study. This is not to say that this is a general thing. Also, this depends wildly from organization to organization. So your case is 1:50, right? Like one template message for every service message that you send. For some orgs is also like opposite. So again, like this is for like, so step one is we understand the implication. Step two will get to like how to pivot, what are some things that we can do about it. So we'll, and depending, I mean, depending on the like the program and the engagement structure that you have, there are a few ways we'll have to kind of like decide how you can pivot into this one. But you're absolutely right. This is not a common this is not a generic or like a blanket case study. This is just to explain the cost, how to estimate the cost. So if your marketing messages are less, yes, that will be less. For your service messages, keep that account so that you get an idea of how your what will be the cost implication. Based on that, you'll have to decide what should be the next action for you all. But your point is totally valid.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have that experience that you have some more service messages, it's totally valid. It this is just an example. And hopefully, like, just to give you an overview of how the cost calculation can be done.
Hi Tejas,
Yeah.
I'm Muskan from Nigam. So
Yes.
my question is, all the
Hmm.
messages that are being responded by a bot, will they
Yes.
also be considered in service messages?
Yes. Any message which is not a template message
Any
is,
message?
yeah, any message which
Okay.
is not a template message. So it can, like, there's a off chance that your flow has multiple template messages. For example, it's possible. I'm not saying that is going to happen, but basically you have to think of it as like, if you have three marketing templates in the same flow, I don't know why you would need to do that, but if you have that, you will be charged for every time the marketing message gets sent. But so it's like a service messages, any message which is not a template, that is considered as a service message. And that can essentially, yeah, I'll not confuse
Okay.
further.
Yeah, so here we have these templates we use separately. HSM template we are using separately, and bot is separate thing. So there we have two dimensions of these. So all the messages will happen apart from template, either on bot, either they reply on the service on the template messages. It all will be charged, right?
Yeah, so once they have responded to your template, any further conversation that happens, those are all service messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
And
response will not considered only.
so the flow is you send a service, you send a template.
Okay.
If it's a marketing template, if it gets delivered, you get charged that you get charged
That
for marketing template.
yeah.
Then they respond, no charge. Like no charge means like if they respond, Gupshup takes a charge of $0.001 for that message. And then when your bot starts to respond, like then there's a service message that your bot sends, right? So that is earlier free, but from October 1st onwards, that is going to be also charged at the cost of utility template, which
But
is yeah.
even apart from what if I'm also sending, suppose I sent a join this session at 4:30. This is the template I sent. I got a reply saying, okay, ma'am, I'll join.
Yeah.
So this particular message will not be charged by user. Is it you are saying?
Correct. Only
And
outbound, only
yeah,
only what message your chatbot sends, that is the service message that Meta is going to additionally charge for.
chatbot and agent also, like, because we are also active from our
Yeah,
end
yeah,
as agents. So
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, basically whatever is the outbound message from your chatbot, whether it is AI generated or whether it is you sending a message
Yeah.
by typing it out and sending, or if it's a programmed flow, whatever is outbound message from your chatbot and which is not a utility, like which is not a template, that is a service
Will be
message.
charged. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Thanks.
yeah. Okay. I think there are, yeah. Um, So interactive messages are not template messages. Interactive messages are all service messages. Vani. Sorry, I think I'll let the team respond in chats. I'll quickly go ahead. So what this means for your organization, and like I think the first step before we jump to any conclusions is before we jump, like before we try to like pivot, I would like, so like understand this cost structure well, and at least start to predict and like if you're going to scale to certain numbers, if you're going to expand your programs, let's try to get an analysis of what those let's try to get a like prediction of what those numbers would be, and based on that we would suggest that you take an action, as because based on the analysis that we had done, like based on the last 1 month's data that we keep with us, most of the Glyphix orgs, the likely increases cost is less than 1000 rupees. But again, this is a biased information only based on last 1 month's data, and we also know that last 1 month, many of the orgs work with schools, educational programs, last 1.5 month, and may not have their programs running at full capacity and all those things. So, but this is what we estimated or we analyzed. But also, like, obviously you all know your programs better. You have data of the last 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years for those who have stayed longer. So there's a way for you to do this by going into your BigQuery table, messages table, and like doing this. So if you're struggling with this, you can reach out to us on Discord. We'll be happy to help you with the SQL snippet. It's fairly simple, and you can kind of like do like past year or past 2 years analysis. This is something for like orgs who have been there for a long time. At least that will help you to estimate for future. Those who started recently, we also have this data analytics tab which we have introduced, and in that last night we have also added this message conversations thing. So I'll show that. And then essentially, yeah, like so the first and the most recommended step right now before we change anything is that you all please take a look at your cost. estimate what it will be in this year or the near future as you're going to this thing, as you're going to scale or expand or like run your programs in the present state the way they are right now. So on Cliffic, if you want to directly check right now, you can see these numbers from like going into the data analytics tab, and there's a messages overview table, and we have already broken down in terms of like how many outbound messages, inbound messages were there, how many outbound messages were there. Out of that, how many were template messages and how many were service messages. So this service outbound is what will be billable from 1st October, and also we are giving like an approximate cost of what it will be if the same volumes continue. Right. So this is something you can estimate. Just FYI, this data is not your entire data. This data is from June onwards. So before this, we did not keep any aggregate data recorded with us. As we started working on this feature, we have the data. So this data is June onwards. This is not the entire of your historical data. So if you want to get a sense of historical data, please reach out to us on Discord. This data should be accessible from your messages table, since all of your historical data is recorded there. And like since programs are seasonal, so like based on when your program and when your messages volume peak, we can help you to estimate that. But right now also you can get an idea of this from going into the data analytics tab and looking at the message overview dashboard in this one. Right? So this is the so step one is let's analyze what is going to be the likely impact. And then based on that, there are actually a few ways that you can consider right now. Like WhatsApp is still useful for you because like from an engagement reaching the beneficiaries perspective, some of you may have the habits built already with your end users. So it is still beneficial. It is still and this is something that you will have to decide. But some ways to reduce costs right now is using WhatsApp forms. Um, WhatsApp forms is essentially like a form-like interface. So for any registration, for onboarding, for data collection workflows, this is something you can consider also, because each WhatsApp form you can have like lot of you can have actually multiple inputs that get exchanged in one WhatsApp form. So it avoids a lot of back and forth. So essentially one WhatsApp form conversation, like one WhatsApp form, you can get multiple entries, and this all counts as just one message. So wherever possible, you can try to like see if WhatsApp forms makes like is a good plugin and it reduces your cost. If it's like recurring flows, you can reduce from like 15 messages getting exchanged to maybe 2 messages getting exchanged, and then that reduces the cost drastically. Second is also, wherever possible, you can also try to see, like where it makes sense to then do programs over WhatsApp groups instead of sending one-on-one broadcasts or getting people to engage, like one-on-one. It's possible that you have WhatsApp groups. We have a case study done with an organization called Key Education Foundation. They last year, because they reached certain scale and there was more of a broadcast heavy program. So, and broadcast and marketing templates were getting more and more, the utility templates were getting more and more difficult to get approved. So they eventually transitioned their program from one-on-one WhatsApp to like their mass program, like where they met a chunk of their audience from one-on-one messaging to groups automation. And we can share this case study of what that engagement pattern was like, like without them having done a lot of effort. But this is another way, wherever possible, wherever there's more about push updates, we're sending reminders. Like this is one place where you can think about transitioning if it's possible to transition some of your programs to groups. And the third option is wherever, if you think there is this is some slightly unexplored by us too right now, but also it is important to share, and we are open to exploring it further and developing things. If any organization feels like this is an important use case of wherever there's a helpline back and forth happening, a lot of helpline back and forth, right? So instead of having those conversations on WhatsApp, you can directly get the user to call you, call through WhatsApp. Like, so now WhatsApp supports, like you have a number, and they can directly call your number by through WhatsApp call, right? So WhatsApp call, what they have done is any incoming calls directly are free of charge. But then obviously you'll have to explore some things like how to handle those, like voice, like if there's any other subscriptions and those integrations that need to happen. But definitely worth exploring and worth doing the cost analysis for use cases where there's a helpline sort of engagement that needs to happen. So these are at the moment three ways to reduce costs that we can think of. We are also trying to improve the form experience a lot, support forms with endpoints, have better validation, make it easier for you all to create the forms. So this is something that we'll focus on immediately within the next 2 months. Scaling groups automation is something that we have already worked on in the last month, and we are going to release this now, where we are making the groups automation more reliable at scale. Like, let's say you have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 groups. Each group can have up to 900,000 type of contacts. So like it's possible to reach that kind of scale if you have like structured programs with government partnerships and things like that. So broadcasting through groups is something that is another option. And then finally, we are also open to exploring other channels, right? Like, so when Anju just explained the use case, like a lot of the conversations are still like service conversations, less broadcast. So scaling with groups makes sense for people who have a lot of broadcast type of programs. But there are always going to be some programs where deeper engagement needs to happen. So we are exploring and trying out ideas where you send out a link through WhatsApp groups, and then maybe the link takes the user to a web chatbot like interface, and that is something or other channels like RCS or Signal, or like, so we are open to hearing ideas from you all. If you have some things that you would like to experiment, if you'd like to try out, if you're willing to pilot in the next couple of months, or like even slightly beyond that, we are open to hearing, and we are open to supporting orgs in like trying to do that. So this is what we are doing. I would also like to quickly uh, see if it's possible for me to start this. Uh, I want to like just see if you have any ideas on like if like, sorry, I'll just start the survey. Um, yeah, I would, I'm just trying to get interest if you have, like if you're inclined towards this other channels ideas. If you think your programs can be transitioned to WhatsApp plus web app kind of like a web-based chatbot hybrid type of models, or there's any other channels that you are willing to explore. So that's something that we are open to exploring right now. Okay, I'm not able to find it. Wait, let me just try it again. But yeah, open to any questions if you have on what we shared so far. This is our choices. Like, I think the first, like the step that we're recommending is you analyze your cost first. Based on that, see if you can transition to either a forms based approach, groups based approach, or if you think the service like a lot of interaction engagement is going to be like a important part of your programs, look at how your cost is shaping up, and we'll share more about what we are experimenting on with like web-based chatbots, so that you don't have to create a lot more outside Glyphic. You use Glyphic as the platform where you create those journeys and your conversations. All your historical contact level data is retained, and you are able to decide which channel you want to engage the beneficiaries on. So that is something that we are trying to do. Yeah. Lastly, if you have any questions, we can discuss that. But if you're exploring any other channel, we'd love to hear what you are trying. We'd love to learn and collaborate with you. If you are, yeah, curious about your own numbers, your own impact of what this is going to do in future, we'll be happy to help you figure out those things. So reach out to us. We'll get help you to get those insights from your BigQuery. And if you wish to explore use of forms or groups, how to transition those programs into this new paradigms, we are also open to exploring that collaboration. Um, yeah, I think that's the crux of what I had planned for and what we had wanted to share with you all. Happy to take questions right now. Um, yeah, we can wait for like 3 to 5 minutes more. Yes, Muskan?
So Tejas, in one of the PPT, one of your documentation I saw, you mentioned Gupshup platform fee.
Yeah.
So is it only when you're using Gupshup or it's a part of Glyphic, or currently also, because I am also new to Glyphic, I am understanding more things. So currently also, is there any charge which is being taken as from?
Yeah, so essentially for every chatbot message that gets sent, um, Gupshup takes so apart from Meta charging for marketing templates and utility templates right now, what happens is for every exchange of message, Gupshup takes $0.001. Right? And this gets capped at $75. So just to share an example, if there was 10,000 messages exchanged in a month, this additional deduction, like this deduction happens directly as every message gets exchanged. And for 10,000 messages, be like 0.001 into 10,000, which is
Yeah.
close to $10. And as soon as it reaches $75, it stops over there in a month. So in a month, if you have 75,000 messages exchanged, then you'll be charged $75. If your 100,000 messages also exchanged, you'll still be charged $75 only. So Gupshup is like our business solution provider. All our messages are routed through Gupshup to Meta or this one. So this gets deducted automatically at every message exchange directly from the wallet.
In current date as well. This is existing thing, right? This is
This is
already
exist.
existing. Okay.
Yes, this is existing thing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, are you? Yeah, open to taking more questions. Otherwise, if you can just wait for a minute, I will start a survey. Yeah, I think, yeah. I'd just be curious to see if you have, I think I've started a poll, I think. Just maybe we can stay for like 2 minutes. If you have questions, we can take those up. And we'll also start this in the respective communities that we are part of, so that and whichever one that you are kind of like right now, which you think are some like feasible alternatives that you have in your mind, please feel free to like reach out to us and discuss more. And if you wish to transition from to groups or forms, we'll be more than happy to help you explore those things, how you can transform those your programs. Web-based chatbot is something again we are exploring. We have like if we see there is if you're able to align on like common requirements, we'll be happy to prototype this and bring out a MVP as soon as possible. Um, but yeah, we'd be happy to like learn more from you all. If there's any other thing that you are experimenting with trying out, please do share with us. Our approach would be to try to see if we can generalize it and make it available as a platform offering so that more of us are able to leverage that. Yes, Vani. Yeah, Vani, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Tejas. So I wanted to actually understand because we are sort of looking at building certain like a platform where we may want to integrate that platform with a chatbot. We've
Mm,
been wondering if it's our chatbot that exists or it's a new, what you said, like a web-based sort of bot.
mm.
I was wondering what are the implications of how does a WhatsApp-based chatbot differ from a web-based chatbot, and where does the costing sort of differ also in the two? Because if say that is something that we're selecting, let's say as an alternative or an additional channel along with this, does it impact costing or where does that lie? I'm not too sure on it.
Right. I mean, it's still early days. I probably will not be able to give you a satisfactory answer on like the cost difference. The
Mhm.
only like the I mean like like there's a advantage of like moving away from WhatsApp and kind of like saving that cost. But in Glyphic, what would it cost additionally and like what those things would be? I cannot comment right now. I don't anticipate a lot to change, but that also depends on what it means for us to add another channel. So that is something I will not be able to comment right now. But essentially, like from the early visions of it, what it looks like right now is, you know, how you have a shareable link and that you share and that brings your user to WhatsApp.
Hmm.
Right. So we are thinking of like having a shareable link, which then starts like at least for now, because all your users are like used to conversing on WhatsApp. So a WhatsApp like chat interface, but instead of that, it'll just open in your Chrome or like it'll open in a browser. And
Hmm.
so I mean like so the whole engineering aspect of it is like what it would cost to like build it up, set up something like this. You know, like all those implications are yet to be figured out. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think we can keep you updated on that as we kind of like take this further. But right now is I'll probably not be able to comment on that.
Sure, sure, thanks. So apart from the cost side of things, in terms of content, what the vision is, and I know it's early, but the vision could be that what we build on Glyphic probably is replicated on a web sort of platform, and they're able to chat with a bot on a web space. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Okay.
since a lot of orgs have a lot of contact histories, profiles updated, contact
Hmm.
variables, collections that they are already part of. So like you reuse as much of that as possible. Keep that same. Keep the experience of creating like
Right.
majorly same. It's just that you'll be able to maybe like there's like maybe like a few distinctions which kind of like let you know that hey, this is a flow for web bot instead of WhatsApp
Hmm.
chatbot.
Okay, understood. Okay, I might connect with you later then.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Also, again, like I don't want to go into solutioning a lot right now, but this is like very, very early vision. So, but yeah, like this is like the conceptual level. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Happy to take any more questions. If you have answered, if you have shared your response in the poll, I think, and if you don't have any other questions, yeah, feel free to drop off. But yeah, still keep this in mind. If you're exploring other channels, we'd love to hear from you. If you want to understand your, like overall impact on the cost, apart from the data analytics tab, there is also the BigQuery and how to get that information from BigQuery, something that we can help you with. Um, I don't want to go into tech details, details of that because I'll just get confusing. So you can reach out to us on Discord. It's simple enough to explain over Discord. And yeah, for exploring forms and groups, we are always open to hearing and helping you out with the programs. Okay. Yeah.
Tejas,
Yeah.
yeah, this is Soptik again. So can you explain a bit more about the WhatsApp group?
Right. Right. Yeah. I can explain. So essentially, how we have um, right. So like right now you have one-on-one, you do one-on-one messaging, right? Like you have a chatbot number, you send out a message and you're able to target like let's say 1,000, 10,000 or like 100 users, whatever. It goes to them as a one-on-one message. But you would have also noticed that you are not like, so if you, and you also must have lots of groups, right? Like where your teachers are, where your students are, where your communities are. But you're not able to add your number to the group. Your chatbot number, you can never add it to a WhatsApp group because WhatsApp prevents that bot like this thing. So any WhatsApp business API number, it cannot be added to a group. So what we have like over the last couple of years, and there's another integration that we have where you can take a normal WhatsApp number. So you have a chatbot number which is linked to your Gupshup and Glyphic, and there's another normal number that you have which is active on WhatsApp, and you can use this number which is separate from your chatbot number. You can have this number in the groups like part of your groups, and you can use Glyphic to schedule like, and obviously this number has to be linked to Glyphic via another third provider. It's called MateAPI. So you can then send messages to groups, schedule messages to groups in advance, send polls or whatever reactions, interactions are happening in the group. You are able to like get the, like in the similar way how you get engagement in of one-on-one chats, you can also see what is happening in those groups, and you can see like the thing of group chats in the like coming into your Glyphic.
Thanks.
Yeah, long winding explanation, but essentially it's like a parallel to Gupshup and one-on-one messaging. There's like Meet API, and you can do messaging in groups at scale.
Teachers, we got one more question on chat, which might be beneficial for everybody. Does this affect the cost for even previewing or testing with the simulator?
Yeah, so this doesn't add up to any cost of previewing or testing in simulator. This is the pricing updates will apply only when the messages are getting sent on actual WhatsApp numbers. So there's no cost of previewing in simulator. Okay, folks. Thanks all for sharing your responses. If you have questions, we are still here. You can write to us. Otherwise, we are yeah, at an end. You can feel free to drop off. Yeah, happy to hear from you in future. Thank you, folks. Have a good day.